Flat earthers lie. Most of us already know this. It's become enough of a meme at this point that we even have our own catchphrase for it, frequently seen on anti-flat earth Twitter: gotta lie to flurf. There's a few pretty famous incidents documented in Behind the Curve, such as an attempt to somehow alter the results of a ring laser gyroscope experiment.
A 15-degree-per-hour drift.
But why is the fact that they lie a significant thing? Why am I talking about this? Well, it's very simple. We often write off flat earthers and other conspiracists as just stupid, but after 4 years of dealing with them, I can tell you the fact of the matter is this: they're brainwashed to a degree that they have managed to justify lying in order to make their point. The thing about lying is, if you have an argument that has to do with objective truths, you can never lie in an attempt to make that argument. As soon as you do, you've lost the argument because you should have been able to prove the truth using only the truth. At that point, it no longer even matters if your argument is sound or not. It no longer matters if your argument is true or not. You've already lost because you've resorted to lying. The worst part about it, and this is something I've noticed a lot lately, is that lies have a tendency to spread. Stupid people don't often look very closely at the information being presented to them, especially on the internet, and they'll pass around things they find without knowing what they're actually passing around. Here's a perfect example that occurred over the last few weeks on Twitter. A handful of Apollo hoaxers tweeted a video stated to show the, quote, behind-the-scenes footage of NASA filming the moon landing on a set. Incidentally, this was also the time I learned that a great way to find Apollo hoaxers on Twitter is to search the term moon landing singular, because as it turns out, they often never know that there was more than one. Anyway, let's have a look at the video, shall we? Wait a second. Stop there. Go back. Stop. Zoom in. Enhance. 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 That blob of a face looks familiar to me. They clearly shared this at a low resolution on purpose, so that you can't quite tell what's going on and you can pretend it's just that it's old, but hang on. I have a thought.
I wanted the whole feel of the film to reflect what it must have felt like.
Elevate the personal stories that we're telling along the way.
So, in case you missed something, this supposed behind-the-scenes footage of the Apollo 11 hoax, because of course if you're perpetrating a worldwide conspiracy, the first thing you do is film yourselves doing it, is actually just behind-the-scenes footage of the 2018 biopic First Man, in which the titular Armstrong is portrayed by Ryan Gosling. So, of course, Space Twitter was quick to point this out, because they've all seen the movie, and they're not idiots. Nevertheless, a fascinating thing happened. We basically caught a virus at patient zero, the first posting of this video to Twitter that I could find. We cut the head off the Hydra before it could grow anymore, and somehow, this stupid shit still managed to spread. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different instances of this same footage being spread around, and every single one of them doesn't know that it's a blatant lie. Of course, we all told them. Every single one of those posts is littered with replies from me and others informing them that they've been duped, but sadly, the responses have been minimal. They either ignore, block, or outright deny. Conspiracists are getting worse, I think, rapidly deteriorating into a rabid state. So, let's move on to a new lie, shall we? This one is a little less focused and takes several forms, but it has a pretty predictable formula that can be boiled down to a few different lies. The claim is as follows: NASA has never landed anything on Mars, and all photos and videos from the Martian surface are actually taken from the mysteriously secret desert tundra of Devon Island, located in Nunavut, Canada. It's so secret that you can Google Houghton Mars Project and literally look at their test site with satellite imagery. The images are then altered to infer a Martian world by adding red filters. But what's the real deal behind posts like this? Well, sit down, I know this is going to be shocking. They're lies. All of these images do one of two things. Either they show two actual images from Devon Island and tint one to look like Mars, or they show two actual images of Mars and tint one to look like Devon Island. Sometimes they'll go the extra mile by adding part of a rover into the foreground of a Devon Island image to help sell it as a Mars image. And how do we determine that this is the case? Well, when both images are from Devon Island, it's extremely easy. Just try and reverse image search the Mars one, as well as ask the poster for the designation of the photo. Every NASA photo has a specific designation that can be used for reference at any time. For instance, the raw blue marble photo from Apollo 17 is designated AS17-148-22727. This image from the Opportunity rover, formerly titled Approaching Greeley Haven on Endeavour Rim, is designated PIA 15118. So when you try and find these Devon Island photos, they won't show up in any gallery and you will never be given a formal designation for them. Why? Because they don't exist. They're not Mars photos, and nobody ever claimed they were, except for flat earthers. Because flat earthers lie. Aside from constant copying and pasting, there's a reason these photos are always shown in very low quality, so that you can't actually verify anything for yourself. Now, when it's the other kind of fakery, both images being actual Mars images, it's harder to call out. You can't really prove the image isn't from Devon Island, but they can't prove that it is from Devon Island either. Well, actually they could, but it would require them to get off their asses and do some work. Here's the thing about Devon Island. It's the world's largest uninhabited island. It is literally completely empty, save for the half-dozen tents that make up the Hot on Mars project. There is absolutely nothing stopping you from going there and recreating an alleged Mars image. All you would need to find is a location that matches one of NASA's proposed photos of Mars, take a photo, and compare them. However, no flat earther has ever done this. Why? Well, because it's one of several dozen things they could do that would give them a definitive answer, but it's not the answer they want. That's what all of this boils down to, really. Confirmation bias is at the heart of flat Earth. It's not that they think the Earth is flat, it's that they want to think the Earth is flat. They want to so bad that they'll either ignore a lie when they see it, or they'll go so far as to lie themselves. I don't really know what the takeaway from this is. I guess as usual, it's to give you the tools to expose these lies where you find them yourself. When Apollo hoaxers show this image and tell you it's proof the moon landings were filmed on a set, show them this one and expose them for intentionally cropping and grayscaling it. When they show you this image and tell you it's proof that Starman was filmed in front of a green screen, show them this one and expose them for fabricating evidence. Expose the lies wherever you can, because at the end of the day, if you have to lie, it's because you're promoting a lie. End of. If you enjoy this content, consider hitting the subscribe button. If you really enjoy this content, consider donating on Patreon, becoming a member, buying some of my books on Amazon, or buying some of my merch. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you over the curve, Space Cowboys.